The Spurs, I have a blank spot in their top spot because I just have no idea what this team should be looking to do. I have an idea of what they need, but like, who should you be targeting? It feels like they need a better point of attack scorer, but at the same time, you do have DeJounte Murray, so like you can't be one of the teams that are just going to be involved with a De'Aaron Fox, and you're also not going to go after, a veteran that's going to cost you a ton because you're not necessarily super good right now. And then DeJounte Murray's, he's a better shooter, but between him and White, like the spacing limitations there, you're not, I thought about Spencer Dinwiddie. Is there a low cost play there to be made where he's not starting with those two guys, but coming off the bench, and he has not been good in Washington.
And what's your goal with acquiring him anyway?
That's, again, I left the top spot open. So these are more stopgap names or younger names. Shake Milton. What's it cost to get him out of Philly? Goran Dragic, just expiring contract. So if you want someone to provide just maybe some shooting, maybe some steadiness as a playmaker, just another, and more of a point guard than who's behind Murray right now, which is really just like when you look at their secondary playmakers, not anyone. And then Anfernee Simons, going to be a restricted free agent, but he's like, what if Lonnie Walker the fourth was good type deal? And he doesn't get to the basket as much. So I don't mean to be that reductive, but you know what I mean.
I really like the idea of Simons here. I think that's the name that makes the most sense to me, especially with the shooting strides we've seen from him this season in Portland. I've also been waiting to mention this guy until we got here because I think it's the ideal landing spot now that he's been waived by the Philadelphia 76ers. But I would legitimately like to see Grant Riller get a shot with the Spurs because the shooting that he theoretically brings, the passing that he theoretically brings if he's healthy, would be intriguing in this lineup. And I have not mentioned him, even though I just want to see him on an NBA roster for any other team, because I think this is the ideal landing spot, giving him a place that could actually use him.
I mean, I'm not against it. That's such a low flyer play at this point. I'd rather see them give minutes to Josh Primo, but I get
maybe both of those things.
The moral of the story here is I don't have a top target for them.
They put themselves in a really weird place. I think they have enough where they could get something because teams should be interested in Doug McDermott. They should be interested in Thaddeus Young. You could very reasonably ship off Jakob Poeltl somewhere. Bryn Forbes could have interest to a contender as an off-the-bench scoring option. They should be able to get something. I just have no clue what that something should be because I'm not sure they do either.
Would you do Doug McDermott and Derek White for Kristaps Porzingis?
I would, yeah.
For both sides?
I don't
know if White's been good enough for the Mavs to jump at that.
But I think especially if you can also fit Thaddeus Young into that transaction and just make it like a more of a veteran consolidation for younger talent trade for San Antonio and give Dallas just more depth and more versatility in a way that isn't going to take away from Luka's playmaking, that makes sense.
All I'm going to say is San Antonio, Pop the other night played Jock Landale over Thaddeus Young. That's where he played him over Drew Eubanks too, but still. Eubanks been playing for Thaddeus Young basically all year.
Which has been strange because Young's been really good when he's gotten opportunities.
I hope they free him or trade him somewhere because I still think that he could help a team. I don't have a top target though. That deal was the closest but I don't think Kristaps should be their top target. He works with Poeltl, but you have Poeltl. The closest I actually came, I just didn't think the name was realistic enough, was Brandon Ingram. Is like if the Spurs were going to be buyers, that would be the guy that I look at. And it's like, if you don't have to give up DeJounte Murray, that's incredibly interesting. They could, I don't know how you feel about them as a Ben Simmons team either. A lot of people think that they would be an intriguing destination.
I don't see that. It's more shooting limitations, and I don't know what he's going to be elevating right now.
By the way, if anyone cares, this is my favorite Spurs stat of the year. They are first in average offensive possession time. So they are the fastest offensive team in the NBA right now.
Would never have guessed that.